Before I start the tutorial, I just want to tell you that I've actually used one of the eyeshadows with and without an eye primer. And the first day after I received this, I did a review. I actually used this color called So Quiche, which is a really beautiful kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like light, like golden bronze color with purple pink shimmers inside. It's just a beautiful color. I applied it with a sort of like pencil brush, and this is I believe the pointed blender brush from, I think, Crown Brush, I think. So it's just like a regular standard brush. They said that for maximum coverage it's better, pigmentation, it's better to use a finger. However, I decided to use a brush, and I feel like it gave a really good result. Like, depends how much pigments, how much eyeshadows how hard you dip your brush into the eyeshadow, since these are really soft. I actually find that it's pretty easy to use a brush. I haven't used a synthetic brush. I don't think this is synthetic. I'm not sure. But I think using a brush is just as easy as using a finger. But of course, if you want to use the finger method, you can use that and apply it. Because when I was doing the swatches, I realized that it transferred a lot of pigments onto my fingers. But once I transfer it onto another part of the skin, it tends to shear out the color. So I decided to use a brush instead. And I feel like if you just want a wash of color, you can lightly tap the brush into the shadow and you get a softer wash of color. But if you want a more intensity, more pigmentation of the eyeshadows, you can dip the brush a little bit harder into the eyeshadow to pick up more product, and then you can actually deposit more colors. So with this eyeshadow, when I use this pencil brush, when I dipped it a lot harder into the eyeshadows, I actually get a much deeper wash of color. And then when I just tap a little bit into the eyeshadow, I get a very soft sheer wash of color. So that's just one tip that I'm just giving you in case you're wondering. And then also, I'm really surprised with this. So this is kind of like a tutorial and review. So I'm just putting out there that I have pretty oily eyelids. Usually, without a eye primer, the eyeshadows on my eyelid will crease within like 2 hours, sometimes like 3 hours. So I have pretty oily eyelids, and the makeup will kind of just not even just creasing, it would actually disappear as well. The color would just kind of disappear. So I was kind of worried about the claim of having, I read a lot of, I saw a lot of video people say that these are long lasting, and they claim that these are very long lasting eyeshadows. But with the fact that these are so creamy and they feel so buttery to the touch, I was worried that they might crease on me like within an hour or something like that. But to my surprise, on the first day I wore these with the brush, not just with finger. I wore it without an eye primer. It lasted on my eyelids for at least 8 hours without any creasing. That's kind of crazy and really amazing, like especially on my eyelid. I have the typical like Asian kind of like hooded almond eyes, not like really monolid, because I have a bit like hooded, so it's really easy to get creasing like right here, over here, and especially with the oily eyelids. And I tend to put like BB cream. I put it all over my face, including my eyelids. So sometimes, like, I thought the BB cream, even though they said it's oil free, sometimes it kind of the emollients inside might break down the eyeshadows if I don't wear a primer. So I was really surprised that this lasted for at least 8 hours without creasing on my lid. And the color stayed like beautiful and shimmery and vibrant. So I decided to test the same eyeshadow out the next day, which was yesterday. I tested it out because I was going to YMCA to go swimming. I've been testing out a whole bunch of like waterproof, long-lasting eye makeup so far, like lately when I go swimming, just to test the longevity and then the claim of having them being waterproof and long-lasting. So I wore the Too Faced Shadow Insurance Eye Primer, which I got as a bundle deal for the Sephora $10 like bundle deal thing. So I used this one. This is the original one, and it's the anti-crease eyeshadow primer. It's supposed to be like one of those like bulletproof, really good eye primers. So I used that as a base yesterday, and I apply this exact same eyeshadow using the same method with that pencil brush on my eyelid, both on top and bottom. And I went swimming. For like 45 minutes, maybe like 30 minutes or 45 minutes, but I was doing laps. And then after that, I took a hot shower and I went into the sauna room. After all of that, and I went to the mirror to check my eye makeup, and I thought that all the eyeshadow would be gone, because I was like, there's no way that the eyeshadow will stay there. Again, I was surprised how the eyeshadows are still there. They were still there, and I could still see the shimmers and the sparkles on both top and lower eyelids. Maybe the color, the color faded just a little bit, but I can still see the wash of color because I didn't really apply heavily, so I could still see the shimmer and the color, the light sheer layer of color on my top and lower eyelids, and I didn't even put any primer on the lower lids. So that says a lot. And even after that, I went to a birthday dinner for my uncles, and we didn't get back until like what, 10:30 or 11 o'clock, I think around 11 o'clock. And I checked my makeup in the mirror, like my eyeshadows are still there and it looks exactly the same as I step out of the hot shower and the sauna room at the YMCA. So I have to say I'm really impressed. I mean, I personally still prefer like pressed pigments and then like loose eyeshadows, only because that once I swatch those on the back of my hands, they are super pigmented and really pretty. And then I have to really build up the swatches on the back of my hands in order to get the exact same color as you see from the pot. But if I just only dip my finger into it, I get that full pigmentation on the back of my fingers, on my fingers, which is kind of weird, because when it comes to loose eyeshadows and pressed pigments, as soon as you dip your finger into the eyeshadows, it transfers onto your fingers, and then you do the swatch on the back of your hands, it looks just exactly the same, like wherever you put it. But these, like, I really have to build up the intensity on the back of my hands. So that's kind of weird. But I do think that using a brush is much better in a way. I don't know why, but I just feel like using brushes, for me, it works better. But I do really appreciate the longevity and I guess the waterproof. At least in my opinion, it's like waterproof and hot showers, sauna, steam room proof. I think this is great, like a great product. I don't know how they do it to make it long lasting like this when the texture is so creamy and the finish is like that. So yeah, that's like my kind of like a quick review about this eyeshadows. So now I will do the speed makeup and voiceover for the holiday, like dark glamour, sparkly, smoky kind of makeup eye look using some of these eyeshadows. So yeah, stay tuned, and thanks for watching. First, I've already applied a Holika Petite BB cream. This is a watery one. And then I also concealed any imperfections with the 24/7 concealer from Urban Decay. I curled my eyelashes and combed through my eyebrow with the spoolie. And now I'm taking ColourPop Cosmetics in Meow, which is a tie-dye eyeshadow. It's mostly kind of pink, silvery, and a little bit dark kind of purplish color, but when you mix it together, it's kind of like a very soft wash of silvery lilac kind of color. So I'm just using a flat, like a little smudge brush, apply this color all over the entire moving lid. And if you have a larger eye area, you can apply a little bit more than mine because everybody's eye shape is a little bit different. And then I'm taking Shameless, which is a really pretty kind of emerald, like a metallic shimmery emerald green or forest green color. I'm using the same brush, just apply this on the outer half. So basically from the middle part and then layering on top of that meow color, and just apply this on the outer half. And then also this is where I shape that outer shape a little bit so it looks kind of like an exaggerated cat eye. And then I'm taking Envy, which is a beautiful metallic shimmery dark purple color, and I'm taking a slightly tapered fluffy blending brush, and I'm applying this on the outer, it's basically 1/3, but on the outer corner, layering again on top of the Shameless color. And then I'm buffing this color into the crease. Now I'm taking a pointed pencil brush, and I'm dipping back into Shameless, which is that deep, beautiful green color, and I'm just smudging this along the lower lash line all the way towards the inner corner. Now I'm taking a synthetic kind of like a more fluffier blending brush or concealer brush, and I'm using Bay, which is a really beautiful duochrome eyeshadow. This has a little bit of purple, greenish brown kind of color to it. So I'm just applying this right along the edge of the other shadows I applied earlier. And then also, since this brush is kind of like a concealer brush, I'm also just using it to just not dipping back into the shadow, but blend it out, smoke it out upwards. You can make this really dramatic by dragging it really outwards like I did here. Then I went back in with Meow, which is that lighter shade, applied first, and I'm using the same smudge brush, apply this on the inner 1/3 of the eyes as well as the lower tear duct. Then I'm taking this deep kind of purpley gel eyeliner pencil from Holika Holika. You can use any dark purple eyeliner. Basically, I'm just tightlining lower waterline and top waterline to make this eye even more dramatic. And then I'm taking a regular blending eye brush, and I'm just blending with the Inglot Studio mattifying powder. You can use your face powder, or you can use a translucent powder, any type of powder, just to, or even your own skin toned eyeshadow, just to kind of like highlighting the brow bone area, and then also, you know, blur out the edges of that bay color. Then I'm just taking this Urban Decay Perversion and Subversion mascara duo. One is a mascara primer, and the other one is a just regular mascara. I really like the combination of the two. It gives me pretty natural but inky black eyelashes. You can use eyeliner. You can use fake lashes for this look. I think it will make it even more dramatic. But I usually skip false lashes because I don't like to wear false lashes. And I just use a little bit of Envy on the upper, like, outer crease, just darken up the outer crease, and then I use Shameless, the deep green color, to darken up the outer lower half of the lash line with the same pencil brush. And I just went in with the Maybelline Studio Drama Brow Sculpting Mousse thing. I just pretty much, you know, darken up my eyebrows and comb through with this tinted mousse eyebrow product instead of filling in. And I'm using this middle shade from the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush Palette. I believe the middle shade is called Incandescent Electra. And then I'm using the NYX Pix Real Techniques brush. This is the cheek brush. And I just apply that on my cheeks, and then I use the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in I think the pale yellow one on my cheekbones, and then I finished with the Ulta Matte Lip Crayon in this beautiful pink color that I got from Gracie 21. So this completes the look. Thank you. Bye.